channel.
Hey, you know what time it is?
What time is it, man?
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Beatdown segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class. This is my co-host.
Mr. J, what's going on, guys? We have another one. If you like these content or these videos, go in the section below. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah. All right, and in honor of the PS5 bringing out the recent Spider-Man video game, we decided, hey, we're going to talk about that character here today. But I'm going to start things off by representing DC Comics, Batman Beyond.
Cool night, boys and girls. I'm gonna have to call your folks.
Okay. Oof, man, this origin story is a long one. Okay, just hang with me on this one, guys. You ready? Here we go. I'm gonna try.
There's a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah, I'm gonna try as fast as I can to talk to you guys about this because it's a long story. Okay, so even animated or origin. So let's start off with the beginning. First off, Bruce is still fighting crime at an old age, but at some point, and he's wearing this really cool suit that's kind of an Iron Man version suit. Gives him natural strength and everything. Whoever wields the suit gives them the natural ability of strength and all that stuff. Whoever's in their peak position are probably a lot stronger, but older it's a little harder for them to manage with it. Eventually, Bruce realizes he had to use a gun to threaten a guy to get out of here without actually shooting it, but he realized just because he had to use the gun, he was like, yo, you know what, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I have to retire as Batman. So he decides to retire as Batman. A couple years go by, and this random kid who's on the wrestling team, he's out with his girl, having a good time, and out of nowhere, the future has some people representing Joker. Joker who passed away, they're still representing him. They're called the Joker Gang. He gets into a confrontation with them. Terry, this young 20-year-old kid, gets into a confrontation with them. They throw down, and then they start going into a wild goose chase. You're probably wondering, how do these two connect? Bear with me, folks. So he starts riding his bike. Terry starts riding his bike, trying to run away from these guys, and he manages to land his bike inside of Bruce's manor. And what do you call it? And it's Lisa's his front porch. And, the gang follow him, and then eventually Terry throws down with the gang, and Bruce decides to help out. At some point, Bruce gets exhausted from the fight, and after beating them with Terry, and then Terry helps him back into the house, and Bruce knocks out. So Terry says, okay, I'm gonna leave. So he walks away, and then he notices on the big clock near Bruce's wall that, there's a bat in it. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna go help that bat out. So he tries to release the bat out of the clock, and it turns out he opens a passageway to the Batcave. Terry goes in and goes, whoa, Bruce Wayne is Batman? Bruce tells him, get the hell out of here. And so, Terry goes, finds out his dad gets murdered. He wants justice for his father, so he decides to do the one civil thing, obviously. First, he asks Bruce for help, but then he says, nah, screw it. If you're not going to help me, I'm going to take your Batsuit and handle justice for my dad myself. And he wears the suit, and apparently he was a natural. And eventually, Bruce was impressed by the fact that Terry had these guts and decides to take him under his wing. And that is the brief origin story of Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. I could tell you the twist, but we don't need to get into that unless, I need the reference.
I was like, there's a lot more to
There's
it.
more into it, but if, the whole Amanda Waller, let me give you the extra. Let me just sprinkle it. Amanda Waller created a program because she believed Batman needed to exist. So she created Bruce's DNA, injected into Terry's dad's DNA, made Bruce out of it. So when they were conceiving Terry would turn out to be actually Bruce's biological child. And it turns out that it actually happens to be his dad. And then Terry finds out about it. Bruce and him get into a fight. And he's like, screw you, old man. I don't like you anyways. But they're still working together. So that's sprinkle program origin story there. So let's talk about the power of the villains, because that was a mouthful of knowledge there. All right. First, let's start off with he's a Street Fighter skills. He has high school wrestling skills. He learned some of the skills from Batman. He was a good gymnast, and he has somewhat of a high intellect when he wants to. He was trained by ninjas, obviously, again, Batman, Tim Drake, a.k.a. Robin. His Batsuit contains retractable claws, retractable wings, grappling hook, cloaking device, buzzsaw, belt buckle, extendable spikes, environmental hazard resistance, binocular vision, infrared vision, ultraviolet vision, batarangs, and sonaring. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Electrocution, explosions, and he has smoke pellets, explosive pellets, knockout gas pellets, flashbangs, and he's defeated a large lava monster and a large robot, stopped a speeding truck, breaks off a block of ice, lifted 190 tons, lifted 210 pounds of a boulder, survived a giant penny crushing him, rescued the Justice League, survived a heavy dose of radiation faster than a Mach 19 missile, and has defeated Shriek-Stalker, Superman, Goliath, and the Justice Lords. Alright, so let's talk about the endgame. How would Terry win this fight? Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. A little of my arguments was a little bit out of reach because I did all my knowledge and argument over one character, but since the character is actually a little bit amplified because of the symbiote suit, I'm gonna still make the argument the way it is because there's really still no comparison. So let me start off with the facts strength-wise. Spider-Man in itself is a natural strength, but symbiote suit gives him a little more extra strength. Stronger than Batman's Beyond suit? With Terry in his prime, no. I do believe that the suit is a lot stronger than the symbiote's symbiote's Spider-Man suit. I do believe he could probably match blows with him. On top of that, Batman Beyond's equipment suit, or Terry's suit, has a lot more high-tech equipment gear to his advantage to help him out of a jam during a fight. I mean, he literally has a bunch of blades and a bunch of batarangs for a bunch of situations and circumstances. So even if he were to get into a throwdown, he could always use that ninja style fight tactic in order to get out of his situation if he needs to breathe or anything like that. Plus, of course, that he still has a suit that can fly pretty damn fast and he can move pretty damn fast in it. And again, he could probably, and now here's another argument I'll make is, let's play the crushing game. So let's say in a hypothetical situation, Terry decides to get into a throwdown with Spider-Man in some really huge big structure, but he calculates how heavy this structure is, knowing the strength of it and knowing how big and heavy it is, how much he can lift. He realizes, okay, I'm going to go and throw down with this guy here, and then I'm going to have the building collapse over us, and then I'm going to have him hold the piece of the structure while I hold the piece of the structure. Which one of us is going to last longer? I do believe that Spider-Man's symbiote might be able to hold itself for a long period of time, maybe. But eventually, I do believe that that big, huge structure is going to crush over him, especially since Bruce is capable of helping Terry weight the measure of the building during his time, since he has that supercomputer to his favor. So Terry knows how much weight he needs in order to withstand compared to Spider-Man's symbiote suit. So I do believe at some point he could crush like a bug compared to Terry, who could probably just throw it off of his back if he wanted to. Just as long as he keeps the measurements of weight the way he needs to, he could probably outmuscle Spider-Man in that way. Okay, and then I'll probably make this as probably like my final point because not only does he have the equipment, not only does he have the strength, and not only is he an impressive skilled fighter, Spider-Man is also an impressive skilled fighter, so you can't take that away from him. So both of them in an evenly matched fight, toe-to-toe, would be well said. I will say that the thing that gives Terry the advantage is the fact that he has someone that is helping him strategize during this fight. I do believe it comes in handy. Symbiote is intelligent, but at some point it's not going to be able to probably outmatch the Bruce Wayne strategy. Bruce Wayne has been around for a long period of time. His experience alone has taught him to fight levels of new gods to creatures that were out of his element, from creatures that were from outer space, doing all kinds of things. Do I believe that Bruce Wayne could figure a way against a character with the symbiote suit? I do believe he could. I do believe he could figure out what it needs, what's the vulnerability in the suit. He could find out about it because Bruce Wayne, in his ear, does have that veteran experience to help him during a combat against someone with like no knowledge against something like that, like something that has super strength or that can shift into anything or that has evenly matched blows with him. I do believe he'll find the weakness. I do believe he'll be able to tell Terry how to handle him. I do believe eventually Terry will follow Bruce's instructions. I do believe the suit will get worn out, and I do believe that Terry will deliver that deadly blow he needs to get it done and win this fight.
Okay, my contestant today is Marvel's Peter Parker, also known as Spider-Man.
You have no idea.
With a slight twist, obviously. I guess you can say I'm using Peter Parker, but with the Venom symbiote. There is a storyline where he kept it, but it kind of like altered his brain. It's a whole thing, but I'm using the version of Peter with the suit, whether he kept it or not. Going into his brief origin, I mean, I'm pretty sure we covered it, but I'll make it quick. While Peter was doing his like wrestling days, because he was trying to make some extra money, he showed up to wrestling events in his suit. Someone tried to rob the promoter. He says it's not my problem. He let him go. Turns out that guy tried to carjack his uncle, and he shot him and killed him. He chased the guy down. In certain genres or certain versions, he killed him. Certain versions, he brought him to jail. But that's his brief origin. Oh, also, I can't believe I forgot this. He was bitten by a radioactive spider, which gave him his abilities. Now going into his abilities, here are his spider powers. Wall crawling, super strength, superhuman speed and reflexes, superhuman stamina and durability. He has foreign chemical resistance and spider sense. His feats as that he's able to beat the Hulk. He is a member of the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. He's developed his own unique martial art called the Way of the Spider, and he was able to knock out a T-Rex with a single punch. Obviously, going into the symbiote itself a little bit, that does give him his abilities, or give him a little bit more. Obviously, it amplifies his strength. I want to say it pretty much amplifies all of his abilities, only instead of using his web shooters. That's one advantage that the suit does bring in with him, is that he no longer needs his web shooters. He can just shoot webs naturally. Also, the suit kind of does act also kind of like a AI in a sense. It's kind of like how Terry has Bruce in his ear, so he always has someone in his ear, much like very similar to Venom's abilities, where even if Eddie doesn't see something coming at him, the symbiote itself can see things coming in from all areas. I think it's 360 vision.
It obtained the powers of Spider-Man once it attached itself to it, so it was able to get the spider sense and the incredible immense strength with it.
Yeah. So pretty much having the symbiote does give him a bit of a boost. I know how the symbiote works with Eddie. I'm not entirely sure how it would work with Peter. I'm not sure if Peter would eventually develop the same abilities, the venomous fangs, the flight, the weapons, but let's just say they did. Going into the end game, I know it sounds weird, but I want to say Peter might have to play the stealth game. Terry might be stronger because of the suit, but first and foremost, he's going to have to go into a dark area. I'm not sure entirely if Terry would be able to detect Peter with the symbiote suit. But he's gonna have to damage his suit, not only to where he can't communicate with Bruce anymore, because he's gonna have to take that advantage away from him. He's gonna have to make him think and fight on his own. And obviously, like you said, it's Batman pretty much feeding you tips. So Peter's gonna have to take that advantage away from him. Take that, remain in a dark area, try to damage the suit as much as he can using the weapons that the suit would come with. Just try to wear Terry down as much as he can. Just try to remain unseen. And for some reason, I want to say Peter would be stronger in this situation. especially because Spider-Man himself is already super strong. Now, giving him the symbiote would just make him stronger. So if Terry doesn't see it coming, all of a sudden, he has a car thrown at him. That's gonna keep him down for a minute. I mean, I know Terry's strong and he's fast, but he's not superhuman. So if he just has a car just thrown at him, whether it be just Peter just picking it up, which he's able to do, or just web shooting it towards him, which would do a lot more damage, Terry's not gonna be able to just shrug that off. So while the car's on to him, that's when Peter just starts to rain down blows and damage the suit more. Yeah, remain in the shadows, damage the suit, and just try to beat Terry down and just hit him when he doesn't see it coming.
Okay. All right.
Terry's a little bit hot-headed and impulsive, so he's gonna have to. I want to say Peter's a lot smarter, and then with the Venom symbiote, it's gonna make him a lot more, ruthless, I guess you could say. So he'll have an easier time exploiting Terry's weakness. Just try to get him to rush in, fight one-on-one, and while he's sitting there fighting him, I'm not sure if Terry's going to be fast enough to catch Peter. Peter's fast, and with the symbiote, I want to say he'll be even faster. And what he can do is, while they're in the middle of an exchange, he can web shoot something towards him, pull it towards him, and Terry's not going to see it coming. And all of a sudden, he's going to get hit with something. And that over time, over and over and over, it's going to wear him down. So I want to say, like I said, stick to the shadows, wear him down, beat him up, throw a car at him, damage the suit, and Peter's going to take this one.
Okay, guys. And as always, it's not up to me. It's not up to my boy here. It's up to you guys. So if you guys like my argument, you can hashtag Batman Beyond. And if you like my boy's argument, what can you do, brother?
Hashtag Spider-Man.
And as always, no press fam. We really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.